Hello, welcome to the screencast for movie reviews. In this screencast I'm going to go over how I set up the demonstration content shown here. Just quickly show you that. I also have various example pages. Okay. First thing to start off with is the documentation, obviously. I've already moved the theme folder and the plugins I wish to install into the folders on my server, which is the themes and plugin folder, obviously. So I've set up my WordPress. Now I'll talk through how I added the content. The first thing you'll probably want to do if you want to use the API is signing up for an account, which you can do here, themoviedb.org. If you click on API and then go to account login or register, you can register for account and then apply for API access. This is the website we'll use to get movie information and information for actors, directors. So once you've got your API key, you want to add it to the theme options. Theme options has various things in it. You have the general here, score descriptions, score colors, API. Add your API code in here and breakdown descriptions. Score colors, it's worth pointing out the colors are done on a gradient, so this is the start point for the gradient, and whichever color you use at the end is the end point. So in this case it's 3 colors, so this yellow color is in the middle, 50%. Whereas you had 4, it wouldn't be positioned like that. You could also just have 2 or 1. So once you've got the API, you're pretty much set up to add content. So we're going to add reviews or previews. I'll just show you how I added the reviews that are already up. So let's look at the latest one. You want to add the title for the review, which is obviously the movie title. Write your content, pretty self-explanatory. Then we have the review details down here. So score is the overall out of 100. Breakdown scores are, if you click on Oblivion, are these right here. You can set the descriptions here in the theme options. These are optional, you can choose to show or not. Show in the slider on the archive page, featured. What that means is, if you go to action, do you want to show in this area here? So if it's featured, it shows up. If not, it'll skip down to this area. Next thing, continuum text and shorter excerpt. Continuum text is, as it sounds, it's the text that appears in the continuum area. The shorter description is this description here, which shows up in the recent posts or related posts. Next thing, video review embed code. If I go to one which I have embedded code in, you can copy it straight from, in this case I used Vimeo, but you can also use YouTube obviously. Just make sure the width is 676, height 405. That's it for adding a video. Go back to Oblivion. So we have all the review details down here. Next, other things to do are the movie DB ID. Now you get that from here. So if we search for Oblivion, click on the film. If we look in the address bar, 75612, that is the ID for the movie. So copy it in here. Auto add director or actor ID. What that means is, well, when it adds these actors here and the director, if you click this button, it also adds the ID for that actor or director from the movie DB. So if we click on Tom Cruise, we see he's got an ID of 500. It'll add that 500 to Tom Cruise. What that means is you can go into Tom Cruise, click auto update, and it automatically gets the information, the biography, the profile picture for him. If you add the DB ID, it should automatically add the year, the genre, the tags, the actors and the directors, but you can add them manually if you wish. The preview image, the only thing to take into account for that is should be at 676 by 405 pixels. It'll automatically be resized for the other image sizes on the website. The only things that aren't added by the Movie DB on the right side are the positives and the negatives. You can see these here. These are just as it sounds. And that should be it for adding individual reviews. I believe previews are done the exact same way. They're just slightly less details to add. So we have the short excerpt, description text, which is the same as continuum but shows elsewhere in the theme. Preview image is exactly the same. Featured same. Trailer embed code is exactly the same as the video review embed code. Movie DB ID, and obviously automatically adds all these. So that's it for adding the individual reviews. Next thing, widgets and plugins. So I mentioned that I moved all of the plugins into the plugin folder because in the demonstration I use all the plugins. If I go through Facebook widget is this right here, Facebook fans. This is the footer. Next, genre widget is this right here. It gets the latest genres and it orders them by the number of reviews or previews that are inside. Movie shortcodes, that's the shortcodes that are used throughout the template. If we go onto the shortcodes page, this demonstrates all the shortcodes available. I'll go through them later on in the screencast. Next, recent comments. Recent comments are here. Recent comments. Next, recent posts. Recent posts are right here. Related posts. These are shown on the actual page. We have here related reviews or related previews. That's the related posts. Next, review breakdown. Alright, review breakdown is the positive minus here. Review details and review score. Review score is the big score here. Review details is this, which gets information from the WordPress installation and also uses the API to get extra details such as release date and languages. Next, review tags is this down here. Trailer is obviously the trailer that uses the API as well. Other ones are review stats, Twitter obviously, and recent tags. I believe that's all. Only other ones left are the top rated and worst rated, which you can see on the archive pages. Top rated and worst rated. One thing to bear in mind on these top rated and worst rated is you can add the tag or genre into the title. I'll show you that quickly. So if we look at all the widgets installed, footer, as I said, lower footer, which is obviously the one below footer, homepage 1, 2, and 3, if my internet ever works. In general terms, each page is split into 3 columns. So the home page is, the sidebars are 1, 2, 3 equal splits. The same can be said on archive pages. Which are archived 1, 2, and 3. Also applies to blog, which is blog 1, 2, 3 obviously. And you also have the review and post sidebar. That's the sidebar for obviously reviews, previews, and other ones for posts which are in the blog. So back to what I was saying about the top rated and worst rated. If I go in here, I have top rated genre tag movies. What that does is the genre word is replaced by whatever genre is shown on the archive. Tag is obviously replaced by the tag. So if you want to include that, just include those words. So if you go here, we have actions being added automatically because this is the action genre. If we go into a tag example, sadly my internet is insanely slow, we have show the tag superhero. So next things on the agenda, featured slider. Featured slider is pretty simple. We have featured slides obviously, the title, then we have the content which is shown on the left, we have the background image, which in this case I'm using the default, which is a star kind of background, but if you look on other slides we have custom. So if we go into theme, these images are 1920 by 600 pixels, so that is the size you should be looking for the background. Next thing is the link, which is which post you wish to link to. Obviously this one's Man of Steel. Written background color, video review background color. They are for the buttons. So you see this is blue. Going to the next one, I've made it green. The video review button only shows up if you've added code into the video embed box, which is in the options obviously. So if you go click on this, automatically darkens and shows the video. About to start. Next thing is the right side content. Obviously this is the right half and it's 500 pixels wide, so you can either add an image or more text, or I've also added quotes, or if you're looking at the second slide you can add nothing. To set the number of posts that you want to show on the feature slider, go to the theme options. Next thing, menus. Theme only has one menu position, and that's the main menu up here. You can add drop downs if you wish, otherwise it's pretty straightforward. Position is main menu, main menu, main menu. I also have another menu I've created called blog menu. that simply shows the subcategories in the blog, which I've added as a widget to the blog sidebar. So if you go into the blog, you should see that in action here. Next thing, blog. Blog is extremely simple. It's simply a category being created called blog with subcategories. Posts are then added to these, and in the menu I've simply got a link to that blog category. So if we go back to the main menu, blog category. Next thing, sidebars. Well, I've already been through that really. Pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I need to go through that again. Homepage. Okay, this is a bit different. In order to create the homepage, which is shown here with the featured slider, the continuum, and the homepage sidebars, which are separate from the rest of the pages, you have to create a new page. Make the title wherever you want. I call it homepage just because it's easier. I didn't add any content, but I set the template to homepage. Other templates you have are default, full width, list style, search. Once you've added the page, let's see what it says. Okay. Yeah, once you've added the page, to create the actual, make it a home page, go into reading, front page displays a static page, and choose front page, home page, the page you just created. Some of the extra options can be found in the theme option for the home page, such as the number of posts that you want to show in the continuum, number of posts to show in the sidebar, feature slider. Next thing, archives. Archives are quite important for this type of template. By that I mean the automatic archives which are created for the action genre or the tags. So as standard, we've got 3 sidebars to add content, which are archive 1, archive 2, archive 3. All these are widgets. Well, sorry, these are not widgets. This, and all this are widgets. The way the archives work as standard is, first of all, if the featured area is selected, it will show this with the 4 most recent posts which are featured. Then it will show the rest of the posts split into 2 columns. These posts here will ignore the posts which are already shown in the feature, so there's no duplication. In order to show the feature slider, if you see it's science fiction one, it doesn't have the feature slider shown. In order to show it, you have to go reviews, genre, or if you're using another taxonomy such as positives and negatives, you go into that, go into edit, and the option should show up, show featured slider. Check to show it if you want. Same applies for tags. Should point out that these are all widgets which are set. May as well show you the demonstration. Archive 1, archive 2, 3. So the first one, we have feature director. In order to get that, I use the shortcodes, which I'll go through later, but you can add shortcodes to the widgets in the sidebar, which is pretty handy. Third one, we have top rated, worst rated, and trailer widget. Also pretty simple. when setting these top rated and worst rated, make sure all genres and all tags are selected if it's on an archive page, because it'll automatically they forget what the archive is for. So superhero, it will only show superhero movies, whereas if you set it manually, it won't work. Next thing, our actor director pages. So example we have is Adam Sandler, which I manually added to all these films even though he's not in them. So this page is it's all automatic really. If you go reviews, actor, find Adam Sandler. In order to get the Wikipedia biography and the picture, you could add it manually if you wanted, but if you get the ID, like I mentioned before, from the movie DB, paste it in here and update it, will automatically get those details. Next thing it does is it gets all the films or the reviews, which he has been associated with that you've done so far, shown here. And then it gets the average score when you add them all up, divide them. Shows a Google pie chart, and it shows you a Google plot based on the year. Same applies for directors. Exactly the same. That should be the only things you need to worry about there. Shortcodes. So there's a fair few shortcodes, but they're pretty obvious what they're for, really. So if you go into the shortcodes page, I'll load it up here as well. First thing, we have split into 2/3 box and a 1/3 box. We use 2/3. Last equals empty. What that means is if the section you're adding is the last across the page, so notice here that you got 2/3 and then the 1/3 is the last one you're going to add. Make sure you add last equals true to this, so we have 1/3 last equals true, right enough. Next thing on the page is we have a continuum. Add that. We have continuum. Genres, set whatever genres you want to show. Tags, show whatever tags you want to show. Leave them empty if you want to show them all. Number, the number of posts you want to add. Title, the title of what you want to add. And filter, add true if you want to show the filter. That's this thing right here. See here, we can filter them. After that we have featured posts, which in the form news slides. If you want to only show reviews only, same details as the continuum also. Below that we have trailer. So you add the trailer with the ID that you get from the movie database, add the width and the height, and then after that we split into halves, exact same as the 2/3 and a 1/3, with the last equals true if it's the last one. So we have the Adam Sandler, Peter Weir, the Google Graphs, and then the Google Plots. To add them, we have pie. They're called pie, obviously for the pie chart. Actor equals, and you add the actor. Or if it's director, put director equals and put the slug for the actor director. By that I mean if you go into the genre and hover over, you should be able to see the slug for the person. Generally it's just going to be lowercase with a hyphen to separate the words. To add the plot, which is this one here, change pie to plot, and that's it. That's the only change. In the sidebar we have recent posts, which for them you just write recent. Again, you can select only reviews, you can set the genres, the tags, the number, the title, blah blah blah. Only other additional one is featured. so you can put featured equals true. What that does is it shows the first post like this with a large image and doesn't bother showing the descriptions. So that should be it for the shortcodes. The only thing, like I mentioned before, you can use these in widgets, which is pretty handy. That's it for as far as the demonstration. The only additional things which I didn't cover are the other type of pages. This here, the top rated, is an example of a list style page. So if you select list style, it comes up with all these options here where you can add which genres you want to include, which tags you want to include, leave it empty if you want to include them all, the number of posts you want to show, and the ordering method. So this way we have descending, it's from top to bottom, but if you want to do worst rated, you'd also do the opposite. Again, it includes a filter. The other type of page is full width, which is pretty obvious, it just cuts out the sidebar. The last type of page is a search page, which in order to do that, just create a new page. I don't have this shown as standard, but just create a new page with the title search, leave the content blank if you wish, and set the template to search. What that'll do is it'll create a page which has the search term at the top, just like this basically, but it has a search form here so you can search for posts. That should be it for the demonstration. I mean, if you need any more help, you can send me a message on themeforest and I'll try and help you out. If you want to request any features, don't hesitate to ask that either, because I'm always looking to add things. But right now, that's how I set up the demonstration content, with all the reviews added like this with the score. Thank you for watching, hope it helped.